What's going on, guys? I want to make a video today to show you my new garage setup here. I got rid of my oil furnace. Some people in the comment section were really worried about that, concerned about my safety, which it was a pretty janky setup, but it was what I could afford at the time. So I upgraded a little bit here. I got a Cleveland Ironworks little stove. Not sure the BTUs on it right at the moment, but I got it off Facebook Marketplace for $400. It came with the piping that I have out here running outside up to my original chimney. A brush down here. Came with a shop vac, manual, little scraper here, and I think 2 bags of pellets the guy gave me with it. So it was a super sweet deal for $400. I've been seeing these stoves at like Tractor Supply, Rural King, Home Depot. They're all basically the same stove. They just have a different name on them. And I've been wanting to try them, but for $1,000, $1,200, something like that, I'm like, I don't know. It's not a name brand that I'm familiar with. You know, I always wanted to try it, but not for that kind of money. So I saw it one day after work. I came home, I got on the Marketplace, and sure enough, they just listed it that afternoon. So I messaged them up. Went over, took a look at it. They were upgrading to a bigger stove. This one just has a little bit of a dent in the side here, but other than that, I mean, it's all like almost brand new condition. One of the downfalls to it, it has a pretty small hopper. The guy said you can fit about 1/3 of a bag in there. I think realistically it's more of 1/4 of a bag, so that's why I have a bag sitting here with a cup. This is how I put my pellets in. I just feed them with that. It's like from halfway, it's probably 8 cups full. So, I mean, right there you go. 16 cups of this, and that's pretty much a full hopper. This doesn't set here normally. It's just I drag the bag over, fill it up, and then I put the bag back whenever I'm done. But, yeah, I'm not a really big fan of these pellets here. Greenway, super premium oak pellet fuel. I did find out through my years of messing with these, it's not really so much the brand, it's whatever you get that time, like whatever that batch is. Sometimes they're really awesome, sometimes they're really bad. I have some issues with these, like they got moisture in them, they're not, I don't know, they don't burn that well, they leave a lot of soot. But anyway, enough of that. So let me show you the stove real quick, because I'm pretty proud of it. It's a little guy. Pretty basic. You have your burn pot here. That just pops out. These pellets, you can see in there now. I just gave it a rough cleaning, but they really have a lot of buildup. Like even just after a couple burns, like I have to take this out and clean it a lot. I know it's a smaller stove and you're going to have to maintain it a lot more, but these pellets, they're really, really prone to building up. Well, this batch anyway. I shouldn't say the brand itself, but this batch of them. Little ash pan here. It's a cute little thing. Up here you have your 4 vents that your the fire and the smoke and everything goes up and out that way. Right here is where your heat comes out. They give you this little tool with it. One thing about these stoves that I noticed, you need some sort of a little pick. This is an Icon pick here from Harbor Freight. So down here, under the burn pot, I don't know if you can see that. Let me get a light here real quick. So if you see that down in there, there's the igniter gets, let me open this up here real quick. Yeah, fumbling around with this light. There we go. So down in here, here's your igniter. Here's where your air comes out. This builds up really fast with ash. So I just use a little pick to go around it just to keep it clean, and then I take the shop vac, stick the nozzle on there, and suck out everything that I broke loose. That is really important on this type of stove. With it being a lot cheaper, they had to cut some corners somewhere. I mean, you can see it in the build quality, like the welds. Like the welds around here aren't really pretty, but I'm not a professional welder, so I'm not going to stand here and talk smack on it. But I'm just saying, like, they had to cut some corners in a few places for quality. And I think that was more of an afterthought than anything else. But it works. You just have to keep an eye on it. And with this being a smaller stove, there's a lot more maintenance that goes with it. In one of my other videos, I talked about drilling these holes out a little bit. But these are already pretty massive on this as it is. I think I'm just going to maybe expand these side holes a little bit. Grind them out with like a Dremel or something like that. I think that would really help with the buildup that comes in the sides. I mean, it cakes on there thick and then it starts sticking on the bottom. And the next thing you know, whenever you go to light it the next time around, it just doesn't want to light that well. So that is one thing I'm going to try with that. But other than that, all in all, I've been using it for about a month now. It's a good little stove, good little starter kit, I'd say. I have a 20 by 26 garage. I just, sorry about the mess. I just insulated the ceiling. I have the motor out of the race car right now. It's the machine shop, so I have car parts and RC stuff just sitting everywhere. I'm in the process of moving stuff around and cleaning up. But since I insulated the ceiling, this has really been huge to hold the heat in, especially this time of year. It's late December here in Pennsylvania. So you can imagine how cold it gets up here. We're not even up north, really, like up in the New England states. But yeah, so I would say probably after I start it up, it takes probably a half hour to 45 minutes to get it real nice and warm out here. Like right now, it says it's 38 degrees in here. If I let this run for about a half hour, 45 minutes, it'll be up to 60, 65, somewhere in there. Like I can wear a t-shirt out here. It takes a long time to warm it up, though, because you have the cold floor. Everything in here is cold, and then my garage doors leak cold air like nobody's business. But I'm going to get new rubber seals for them here shortly, so hopefully that helps. But yeah, you can walk over there, you just feel the wind blowing in like you have a screen door open or something. So we're going to work on that here soon. But yeah, I'm going to post a review video up here maybe next week or something like that. Just kind of give a brief overview of it on this one and just kind of let you know my thoughts on it. But for $1,000 or more, I mean, I've seen them $1,200 already. I think that's a little much for this stove. But if you can find a good deal on one, especially something similar to this to where it's in good shape. I mean, this thing was only used a season. It just looks like someone had spray painted something kind of close to it and they got some spatter over here. I'm going to work on getting that off and get it cleaned up. But, you know, for $400 with the pipe kit and everything that it came with, I think it was an awesome deal. And it does the trick out here because I had the oil furnace out here and diesel fuel. I was using off-road diesel in mine because I couldn't just have the fuel company come fill it up. That was like $4.25 a gallon the last time I bought that. So it literally cost me $20 a day to heat, you know, a 20 by 26 or something like that shop. So yeah, this I can run constantly. Once I start it up, it just runs constantly. I'll eventually drop it down. I got a little remote with it. I'll just stand over here and just, you know, turn it down a little bit, set it on like a medium setting. I don't even go through a half a bag of pellets a night, and I'll have it burning for 5-6 hours straight, like on a lower setting once I get it warm in here initially. So a bag of pellets right now is like $6. So that's like, let's say, average of $3 a day versus $20 a day. So I'm pretty happy with that. So yeah. Yeah, here's just a real simple, bare bones setup that literally took me like 2 hours just to get everything cut, put in, set up, and then punch a hole through the wall with the hole saw and stuff like that. But totally worth it. It's a cool little machine. It was something to try out. I really didn't have high hopes for it, but it works out pretty good. The previous owner didn't really do a whole lot of maintenance with it, but they were pretty old, so, you know, I understand. It's no big deal. When I got it, I didn't even clean it. I just hooked it up and fired it up and hoped that it worked. I wanted to see if it did anything first. But you got your cleaning rods up top here. Pretty simple stuff. I mean, for what it is, I'm not going to spend no $1,000 or $1,200 on it. But for $400, I think if you find one of these at that price range, even 500, I'd say that's worth buying. But that's just my opinion. I'll do a more depth overview and kind of a review on it later on. But if you guys have any questions, let me know. Hit me up in the comments section. I'll try to get back to you as quick as I can. But yeah, so far, so good for the little mini stove. Here's what it looks like when it starts up. From the time I hit the on button until I saw flame, it was probably 30 seconds or so. Just not too shabby for a little guy. On startup, initially it just shovels the pellets into there. Once it goes into stabilization mode, that obviously it turns itself down quite a bit on the feed rate. Yeah, there's already nice heat coming out of there. It's only been running maybe a minute and a half tops. Yeah, no complaints so far about it. It's not noisy or anything. It's actually pretty quiet. Yeah, other than just not getting the ash out of the burn pot, which with a little bit of modifications I might be able to fix that. But yeah, so far so good. If you guys have any questions, hit me up in the comments section. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, all that good stuff. And on to the next one. Take care.